Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Joe's real love match. Guilty Christina grilled after Dalton operation was sabotaged. According to General Hospital teasers, Giovanni Gio Palmieri's true love match might be exposed, and an operation by Professor Henry Hank Dalton will be thwarted. What GH viewers may anticipate is that guilty Christina Corinthos Davis will also be grilled. Alexis Davis will be wondering if Christina is reconsidering her decision to ruin the developing romance between Molly Lansing Davis and Cody Bell. It's clear that some remorse has been seeping in, even if Christina acts as though she has no regrets. Alexis might notice that when she interrogates Christina and worries that her daughter is causing too much trouble with her plan to seduce Ava Jerome. Regarding Ava, she will be preparing an exam for Rick Lansing. It's likely that Rick will demonstrate his incapacity to avoid Elizabeth Baldwin, which could have a disastrous effect on his test results. She'll update Laura Collins on some Jen Sidwell-related news over with Jordan Ashford. Laura will be wary of the risk that Jordan intends to take, but he might not back down from the complex Sidwell issue that is imminent. When Drew Kane confronts Sidwell and makes a potentially dangerous statement, he will be playing with fire. Sidwell will express his displeasure and attempt to instill terror in Drew as a consequence. When it comes to Emma Scorpio Drake's planned Dalton operation, Anna Devane will then use some sabotage. Anna will keep Felicia Scorpio informed as she looks for assistance in preventing Emma from suffering another catastrophe. But while Emma is at the special lecture, Gio plans to break into Dalton's lab. This is the best approach to avoid raising red flags, but if Gio isn't careful, he can end up in more difficulty than he expected. While everything is going on, Emma will be alerted by Trina Robinson to Dalton's rude actions. Trina won't think Emma should take Joss's previous position since she will believe Josslyn Jack's claims that Dalton made advances on her. Emma will eventually tell Trina how she truly feels about Gio. If they continue on this course, Emma and Gio might end up being a true fit because it sounds like Emma will acknowledge that she's falling deeply. She will use cunning string pulling to obtain what she desires once she is back with Anna. That might have something to do with the Emma protection plot we discussed, but it might also have something to do with the WSB mission at the Five Poppies Resort. In other news, Brooklyn Quartermain might brief Sonny Corinthos about the most recent deception meeting since she will have some significant updates for him. Brooklyn might argue it's not occurring and reassure Sonny that he's safe because Maxie Jones was outvoted on giving the PCPD the proof. Don't miss what lies next for the mob leader, as General Hospital spoilers indicate that Sonny still has a lot of issues to deal with. General Hospital spoilers, Josslyn and Britt's crazy meeting, a mistaken mission? Josslyn Jackson and Britt Westbourne may be getting ready for an unexpected encounter, according to General Hospital spoilers and updates. We should consider the possibility that the secret mission at the Five Poppies Resort will take an unforeseen turn. Brennan is sending Josslyn and Vaughn on a mission while posing as newlyweds. In order to keep up this romantic facade, Brennan has assigned Josslyn and Vaughn to spend 2 weeks at the resort. Now that their attention is diverted from Professor Henry Hank Dalton, the real goal is for Vaughn and Josslyn to carry out an inquiry. Josslyn and Vaughn will be doing their detective work at this resort in Dalmatia, where there is obviously a lot more to learn. Josslyn never would have expected to see Britt at the Five Poppies. From what Joss understands, Britt died a hero's death after saving her from Heather Weber's poisoned hook. So, if Josslyn happened to run across Britt on the property, it would be a huge shock. Britt and Josslyn might bump into each other in the ladies' room or somewhere else. Josslyn and Vaughn eating together at one of the resort's restaurants is easy to imagine, and perhaps she'll excuse herself to go to the ladies' room. If GH chooses to make things more dramatic, this might give Josslyn the opportunity to run into Britt, possibly in a really dramatic way. Josslyn might actually run into the woman who saved her life and is thought to be dead, which would cause her to ask a lot of questions. Of course, Britt will have her own questions if she finds out that Josslyn is actually using an identity while on her honeymoon. Could Britt suggest that they keep each other's secrets as this could turn into a complex situation for them both? I keep your secret, you keep mine? Britt might promise Josslyn that she won't say anything about seeing Joss there either if she pretends she didn't see her. Britt might have the power to reveal Josslyn's secret and jeopardize her new career, but Josslyn might suffer severe repercussions for hiding such a big secret from Brennan. Furthermore, Josslyn may feel compelled to keep quiet about this encounter if Britt requests it since she owes Britt her life. Josslyn may consider giving Britt her quiet if all of this takes place without Vaughn being there. What will Joss do if they cross paths, though, as Jason Morgan is already on a quest to verify Britt's survival and will soon have his own reunion with her? A romantic reunion that General Hospital never needed in the first place is teased. Willow just told Drew on General Hospital, "I don't, thank God, I was at the altar." And immediately it seems like it's hinting to a new love affair with, what the devil? Chase! What caused Willow and Chase to split up? Willow and Chase would naturally draw back toward each other, in a sense. After all, they had once been deeply in love. Actually, the only reason they split up was because Chase and Michael's ex-girlfriend Sasha plotted to make their significant others believe they were having an affair. Why would they act in such an absurd manner? In order to increase the likelihood that Wiley's biological mother, the deceitful Nellie, would not be granted custody of the boy she had pawned off as Lucas and Brad's adopted son, they wanted Michael and Sasha to get married. Are Willow and Chase still attracted to each other? Chase still has a soft place for Willow despite everything that has happened to her, and he even urged her to remain hopeful about her and Michael's custody battle. Chase promised her that he and Carly will ultimately remember that Willow is a loving mother and a good person. And keep in mind that he and Willow were always in love. She simply began to view Michael as more than just a buddy as time passed. In addition, Chase and his wife Brooklyn are going through a difficult time because she insists on making amends with their unexpected son Gio before they start their own adoption process. Willow has a tendency to go from relying on men for support to leaning in to kiss them. If she did that with Chase, it would be disastrous. For the ex-lover and his bride, Brooklyn, it would lead to a huge catastrophe. Wouldn't you be threatening me right now? Spoilers hint that Ava challenges Rick. She had witnessed his behavior toward Elizabeth. Is there anything left of her illusions about him? Ultimately, she agreed with Alexis to exclude Rick from the proceeds. Can he do anything that will make her reconsider that move? Anna tugs at a few strings. At the Metro Court pool, she runs into Felicia, and they discuss Emma's future plans. Anna informs Felicia she's going to try to get close to Dalton tonight. Will they cooperate in order to keep Emma safe from harm? Speaking of Emma, she confides in Joss's closest friend after running into Trina at the Metro Court pool. Trina wants Emma to follow her advice, as if she were paraphrasing Joss. Trina cautions, "You really ought to reconsider accepting that position." Danger and gain? At the mayor's office, Jordan provides Laura with an update. Jordan is working undercover as the two collaborate to bring down Jen Sidwell. Laura informs her buddy, "I don't feel comfortable asking you to take that risk, but given how risky this has been from the beginning, what is the next course of action they are thinking of that goes too far for Laura?" Alexis and Christina talk about how Molly has been impacted by Christina's scheme to separate Rick and Ava by having Cody seduce her when they are out and about enjoying dinner together. Do you feel bad for getting in the way of Molly and Cody? What is Christina going to say? Sonny hears Brooklyn's confession. She informs him, "I have some really good news." Does Brooklyn inform Sonny that Tracy has changed her mind about disclosing the money that was unintentionally laundered and transferred to Deception as a result of his investment? While not all of Sonny's adversaries are giving up, some might be betraying one another. Jens confronts the congressman with a direct inquiry during their meeting. "Wouldn't you be threatening me right now?" Jens inquires. Cutting hair and ties, how Willow's GH change mirrored her emotional trap. The reason behind Willow's haircut and the advantages of the new style were disclosed by Caitlin McMullen. Why Michael won't let Willow visit her children on General Hospital is beyond Willow's comprehension. She is unaware that Sasha was forced to take her child and leave Port Charles because he believes she was the one manipulating baby Daisy. Although Willow puts on a brave front, Michael believes she could lose it at any time and put their kids in danger because of the hint of madness in her eyes. Willow shaved off her hair as part of her descent into darkness, and Caitlin McMullen described the transformations her character is undergoing. A cut above in an interview with Soap Opera Digest, McMullen stated that executive producer Frank Valentini was instrumental in deciding on Willow's final hairstyle, telling her it would be great for Willow to have a new look as she comes into the nurses' ball feeling so confident. It would be great for Willow to have a bolder look, something different than what we've seen in the past with her, she said, adding that the ball was the ideal occasion for her to make this change. That made sense, especially since her new hairstyle initially appeared to have been hurriedly chopped off rather than having been styled by a stylist. Hair today, gone tomorrow. When Michael arrived at the ball, picked up Wiley, and left, Willow's life came apart. Everyone was surprised to see him because he had been recuperating at a burn facility in Germany. Willow eventually lost custody after having several public mental breakdowns, and she later abandoned Drew at the altar after he confessed to having an affair with Nina. Anyone may go insane from all of that alone. Willow's haircut change served as more than just an outward symbol of her character's metamorphosis. When my hair was longer, I kind of felt like I could hide behind the hair a little bit, but this is like, no, you have to really show yourself. McMullen explained that the haircut made her feel more like herself, a feeling she called weird. She also disclosed a significant advantage of the cut, saying, Carly's living room had never seen chaos quite like this, not since Morgan's breakdown, not even during Nellie's reign of destruction. But even the walls trembled with silence after what transpired between Willow and Drew that evening. She had been trembling and wild-eyed when she got there, torn between anger and sadness. Her voice cracked as she insisted on seeing her kids. She was devastated, though, when Michael stood in front of the door and told her no. For weeks, Willow had been tense, her foundation crumbling under the weight of lies, secrets, and intolerable loneliness. She was emotionally unstable, sleep-starved, and plagued by the thought of Sasha and Daisy, the kid Willow had previously thought she would be raising, leaving town. No matter how many times she told herself that she was to blame for the unraveling, the anguish would still be there. However, losing a child was no longer the source of the anxiety. She was losing herself. She became quite agitated the instant Michael refused to let her see the children. In a flurry of activity, she screamed at Carly, threw accusations, toppled a lamp, and even attempted to tear a picture of her wedding day off the wall. After Dante and Brooklyn helped to defuse the situation, Michael treated her as though she were a complete stranger. His remarks were clinical rather than harsh. It broke her heart more than yelling ever could. You're not well. The consequences were immediate. With his arms folded like a man choosing his next move, Drew observed the spiral from a distance. Since the revelation of Daisy's stalker, he had been observing Willow, and he was aware of her decline. It seemed that no one else understood that Drew wanted her back, not gone. And he was ready to do whatever it took to obtain her. Within hours, the Quartermain estate was talking about the Carly's incident. Ned didn't care to spare sentiments, despite Olivia's best efforts to be kind. In private, he told Brooklyn, she's unstable. You want Leo to be around someone like that? In the meantime, Drew unexpectedly stopped by Willow's flat. She answered the door quietly, her voice almost audible, her eyes flushed with tears. He advised her not to be alone at the moment. She turned aside, acting as though her limbs were no longer hers. Then go. However, he didn't. He gave her an offer instead. A hideous, deceptive proposal cloaked in phony care. He stated bluntly, I am aware of what you did to Sasha. I am aware of what transpired at the hospital and the mansion. She froze. I know everything. Additionally, I am aware that you did not act hatefully. He waited for her to refute it. You did it out of grief. She didn't. That secret won't remain hidden forever, he added. Unless someone is willing to make it go away. Willow gave him a hollow look as she glanced up at him. Are you trying to harm me? Drew sat on the couch as if he owned it and stated, I'm giving you a choice. This can all be resolved. We are able to reconstruct. She felt as though she had just been pulled underwater by the words, come back to me, and no one has to know. The room's hue and the ceiling fan's sound all became hazy around her. Not even room for rage remained. Just fear. Drew bent closer. She looked at him for a long moment before saying, or you can keep trying to prove yourself to Michael, to Carly, to people who already wrote you off. He merely shrugged when I said, you're sick. It was the start of her decline. So are you. Willow made an effort to stick to a schedule in the days that followed. She arrived for a volunteer shift at the hospital. She inquired about visitation over the phone with Monica. She even left Sasha a note, but she didn't think it would ever get back. However, her thoughts were faltering. She heard voices at the periphery of her mind. Every room has a hint of paranoia. She stopped eating and slept very little. She felt as though she was looking through a frosted window at her own life, and the outer world became strange. And it pushed her over the edge when Drew returned, this time with flowers and a show of affection. "You believe you can use blackmail to get me to love you?" She pushed him away as she yelled. "You're abhorrent," he jolted her by grabbing her wrist, but not firmly. "You're not thinking straight." She gave him a slap. He then pushed her back onto the bookshelves with a horrifying snap. Not difficult. Not enough to cause bruises. But enough to convince her that love was no longer the focus. Ownership was this. No one was around to hear her cry once more. There was silence in the building. The neighbors have long since learnt not to get involved in the drama around Corinthos. Barefoot and in a panic, she dashed into the corridor and stumbled out onto the street, descending stairs that merged beneath her. She didn't care that her phone was in the apartment. She had to breathe. Space. A place to go where there were no predators or spirits. The breakdown occurred at that point. She broke down in the park, crying violently and holding her chest tightly as though her heart were about to burst. A jogger came to a halt. Then another. Someone called. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a room with white walls. Furniture with cushions. There are no sharp things nearby. With a clipboard in hand and a serious expression on her face, Portia stood at the foot of the bed. "You are at Ferncliff," she uttered delicately. Uncertain if she was dreaming, Willow blinked. "During intake, your condition was assessed," Portia said. "You experienced a psychotic episode." "No," Willow whispered. "Drew was the one." Portia gently interrupted, "We're not talking about Drew right now. Willow, you need assistance. Genuine assistance." Days went by. Weeks later. Although she rarely spoke, she went to group therapy. She saw a psychotherapist who made an effort to delve into the guilt, the losses, and the trauma. It was draining. She came away from each session feeling more exhausted but also more conscious. She started to remember things. Her mind slowed. She thought of the girl she had been, the mother, the nurse, the person who had previously maintained her composure in the face of sorrow. Michael showed up one day. He remained silent for a while. As she traced lines on the table, I sat directly across from her. "In the end," he said, "you attempted to harm Sasha." Willow acknowledged it. "You allowed your mother to be blamed." No denial, though. "Why?" She looked him in the eyes. "Because I felt scared." Michael nodded slowly, saying, "Because I didn't think I had anything left to lose." "And now?" "I'm not sure," she muttered. In actuality, though, she was aware. She needed to give up the hope that everything would return to normal. That Carly wouldn't treat her like a stranger, that Michael would pardon her, and that the children would smile at her once more. That Drew hadn't ruined anything irreparable. She no longer possessed any of that. Perhaps, though, she could start over. Weeks later, she was eventually released from Ferncliff, but not to an open house or a procession of hugs. There was silence. With a diary and a few folded clothing in her bag, she left by herself. At the gate, nobody greeted her. However, she didn't break down this time. She held her head high as she made her way to the bus stop, not because she was cured but rather because she had finally stopped deceiving herself. The path ahead was long. And if she had to, she would go through it all by herself. She would walk it, though. Spoilers for General Hospital, Willow tricks Chase into seeing the children. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Tate has reached her lowest point, but fortunately, she still has some friends in the small town. Willow can rely on Elizabeth Weber and Harrison Chase, even if she has severed her relationship with Drew Kane and cut off her mother Nina Reeves since they lied about their affair. Willow Tate was visited by Harrison Chase while she was employed at the hospital, according to General Hospital previews for the Tuesday, August 5th episode. Given everything that has transpired lately, it is obvious that he wanted to see how his friend was doing. Despite all the insane things she's been doing lately, Chase is clearly still #Team Willow, and he even took the time to give the mother an update on how her children were doing. Willow was pleased to hear the in-depth tales he told her about Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, but she was also deeply saddened by the way her children were growing up without her presence. Chase is easily manipulated. Although fans may notice traces of the former Willow, she is easily set off when she enters meltdown mode. Additionally, given that Willow was the one who chased Daisy Gilmore and was in charge of forcing Sasha Gilmore out of town, it appeared as though she was slightly manipulating Chase with her goody-two-shoes act on Tuesday. Could she persuade Chase to allow her to see her children as a result? Could she move in if she finds out while the police are observing them? Could something similar occur where Chase lets Willow spend time with Wiley and Amelia without Michael Corinthos knowing? Willow has been known to show up during specific events, such as Wiley's swimming lessons at the Metro Court pool. Liesl is targeted, Turner bonds with Sonny, and Chase confronts him. Sonny Corinthos and Justine Turner form a bond. Michael Corinthos is confronted by Harrison Chase. Lulu Spencer also goes after Liesl Albrecht. Harrison Chase's confrontation. Michael and Chase discuss baseball at the Metro Court pool. Willow Tate is mentioned by the detective. The father won't talk to Chase about her. Michael owes him an explanation, the investigator retorts, particularly after he ended his marriage. Now the nurse knows Drew Kane's identity. Willow must still be held accountable. They keep arguing until Michael abruptly says that Willow also acted horribly. Michael is simply punishing Willow and the kids, Chase points out. Lulu Spencer's alliance. Lulu discusses Gio Palmieri's game with Carly Spencer. She says Liesl was in the stands, yelling for Rocco Falconeri. It's too messy, Carly remarks. Is Jason Morgan the reason Lulu keeps pushing her? After much pleading, the reporter gets Carly to consider it, but only under one restriction. Lulu must demonstrate that Liesl is a real danger. Rocco wouldn't be in danger from the grandmother. According to Lulu, Liesl is attempting to take over as Rocco's parent. That was taken from her by Britt Westbourne. Carly cautions that she might permanently lose Rocco if she keeps pressing. Liesl congratulates Gio and Rocco on their performance at the field. Albrecht and Danny Morgan cross paths. Jason is also present. Jason and Liesl speak while the children put things away. According to the right-hand man, Liesl is making things difficult for Rocco. Additionally, Jason commands her to be completely honest with Rocco regarding the embryo incident. As she begins to approach Rocco, Liesl says she is unable to join them for ice cream since she is lactose intolerant. In the meantime, Rocco tells Danny that he wants to learn more about Britt and Liesl. His parents, however, will not permit it. Danny believes he has a legitimate curiosity for them. Laura Collins intel. Dante Falconeri pays Laura Collins a visit at the mayor's office. It must be off the record, but the mayor wants to speak. Was Marco Rios abducted by Sonny? Both of them concur that Marco is lying as they compare notes. They talk to Liesl about Rocco and the circumstances. They both concur that Rocco is entitled to hear both sides of the issue. Britt is, after all, dead. Justine Turner bonds. Sonny brings Turner to the hospital. When Willow shows up, Sonny requests a different nurse. Although she acknowledges, she cautions that they might have to wait for a while. Turner asks Sonny if that nurse was Willow while they wait. They discuss Willow and Drew. Nina Reeves is also mentioned. They both acknowledge that crucial judgments can be challenging, particularly when it comes to family law. The mob boss is both astonished and happy that his son was granted custody. Sonny questions why Willow didn't even have visitation, but he doesn't believe it was an error. That certainly sounds strange, Turner agrees. Turner becomes uneasy. She dislikes having her vulnerability seen by others, and Sonny can tell it. A nurse shows up and shows Turner to a room. Willow informs Isaiah Gannon about Sonny's desire in the interim. She believes it to be karma. The nurse abruptly reveals that Portia Robinson was blackmailed by Drew, and she didn't even seem to care. The conversation shifts to Chase and her past. Maxie Jones' immediate conversation. Maxie Jones discusses Sunny's poor investment with Lucy Coe and Brooklyn Quartermaine. They wish to contact law enforcement. When Tracy Quartermaine shows there, she announces that the plans have changed. To protect deception, they must remain silent. Tracy mentions that Jen Sidwell and Marco discuss the options. It would be awful. Except for Maxie, everyone believes they should keep quiet. Tracy questions whether Max Scorpio will learn about Maxie and Lucy's departure. Drew's most dangerous betrayal to date could be this one. While Laura tells Jordan not to take a chance and Drew betrays Sidwell, Emma confides in Trina. They may attempt to stop Emma, but they are unaware that Gio will be breaking into Dalton's lab. Anna informs Felicia she's going to make a move against Dalton tonight. If he gets caught, he might face serious consequences. According to the weekly teasers, Emma confides in Trina, but Trina warns her, "You should really think twice about taking that job." Trina may be pleading with Emma to follow Josslyn's advice, as Emma probably informed her of Josslyn's warning that Dalton is a slime. While Alexis asks Christina, "You regret getting in the way of Molly and Cody?" Laura confesses to Jordan, "I don't feel comfortable asking you to take that risk." If Molly discovers that her sister hired Cody to woo the art dealer or witnesses him courting Ava, the entire situation will devolve into a major mess. In another scene, a beaming Brooklyn exclaims to Sunny, "I've actually got some really good news." The teasers also reveal that Brooklyn confides in Sunny, so it goes without saying that she will tell him that the Ladies of Deception have chosen not to disclose the entire incident involving his investment in the business. "You wouldn't be threatening me now, would you?" Sidwell asks Drew. Even though Sidwell is a villain, he is more honorable than Drew. Even though Drew betrays everyone, he should exercise caution since Sidwell is a dangerous man. Trouble undercover. August 11th to 15th, 2025 General Hospital spoilers, Josslyn ends up in danger. The week of August 11th to 15th, 2025, General Hospital teasers indicate emotional turmoil and undercover problems. At the Five Poppies Resort, Josslyn and Vaughn's mission takes a perilous turn. Carly faces a ticking time bomb, Jason arrives, and Britt escapes. In Port Charles, there will be romance, secrets, and dramatic encounters. Josslyn and Vaughn will go undercover as newlyweds, according to General Hospital spoilers for the week of August 11th to 15th, 2025. Their objective? Collect intelligence covertly at the Five Poppies Resort. However, feigning love could arouse emotions they weren't prepared for. Emotional problems quickly arise, and boundaries become hazy. The danger increases with their proximity to the truth. Josslyn has several near misses, and their cover almost blows several times. Their chemistry is simmering beneath the surface in the meanwhile. Will they get into more serious difficulties, or will this fictitious honeymoon become anything real? Britt Westbourne has had enough of obeying orders, so she breaks free and rules, according to General Hospital spoilers. Her rebellious side comes out this week. Frustrated and smitten, Britt slips out of hiding. Her audacious action might lead to major issues and mayhem at the resort. Her timing might be ideal for Vaughn and Josslyn's objective. Expect humorous near misses and tense moments even though a direct collision might not occur. Additionally, Britt's decisions can set off a chain reaction that has more serious repercussions for all parties. Jason travels to Dalmatia. Jason Morgan finds fresh inspiration from Anna Devane's most recent lead. He finds out that Britt may be connected to the dubious project of Professor Hank Dalton. That's sufficient to get Jason moving. Where was he going? Everything appears to be coming together at the Five Poppies Resort. When Jason shows up, he is placed next to Vaughn, Britt, and Josslyn. Explosive turns and potential confrontations are promised by this scenario. His intervention might put Josslyn in danger, creating a moment of great stakes that would endure a lifetime. General Hospital spoilers, calm before the storm. This week, Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan become closer. Brennan appears willing to comply, for the time being, at least, whether it's a love scheme or something more cunning. This tranquility won't last, though. Carly is still unaware that Josslyn was enlisted as a WSB agent by Brennan. Carly will have a strong reaction when the truth is revealed. Their relationship is bound to fail, particularly if trust is betrayed. They relish the quiet for the time being, but the storm is simmering just below the surface. Lulu and Dante struggle back. Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri discover something that infuriates them. They start planning their next course of action. The problem? Rocco and Liesl Albrecht's developing relationship. They are concerned about her influence and may ultimately choose to cut her off entirely. Tension in the family is increased by this narrative. Albrecht may have been acting with good intentions, but his actions are creating conflict. The protective instincts of Dante and Lulu take control, resulting in a daring plan of retribution. General Hospital spoilers: Drew's plot for vengeance develops. Drew Kane continues to advance his plans. According to General Hospital teasers, he won't stop working until Curtis pays. However, he has other thoughts besides retaliation. Drew may use his charm to gain Willow back because he still harbors feelings for her. Drew wants to regain control after recent setbacks. He is committed to changing his future, whether that means going after Curtis or attempting to rekindle an old passion. Only time will tell how far he will go. General Hospital's August 11th to 15th, 2025 week is jam-packed with romance, peril, and revolt. Don't miss a second as Josslyn risks everything, Jason causes mayhem, and Britt breaks the rules. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.